Now for the very last presentation. We're making good time, even though we had more than usual to cover. The PK Committee as a group decided to invite one of our past speakers for an encore performance so we can relive a moment in our glorious past. Because of his wealth of random knowledge, our special guest is also known as Dr. Ship Facts. He is passionate about art, politics, and music, and convincing others he is right about most things. He takes amazing pratfalls where you're always sure that he hurt himself, but he never does. And he's a wonderful dad and husband that likes to find the humor in situations. Amazingly enough, he builds model airplanes in addition to the craziness you will see here. Please welcome back Greg Daly with his encore performance.
Thanks very much for having me back. This is awesome to be able to share some of my nerdiness with you. Just to get right into it, as it plays, we get this awesome song. Part of creating these World War II dioramas that I do, they're all 1/35 scale, which means the figures are maybe 3-4 inches tops. I listen to the music of the era so I can get into the story. And what I try to do is I find these models that I like, the design of these models, and create a story around them. In most cases, because I'm so fascinated with German armor and the way they designed it, the Germans are always getting their asses kicked because politically correct, that's the way to play it. So in this case, you see the guys running away, the Americans are moving in, muscling them out. So this scene here, again, this scene was probably about 1 foot by maybe 8 inches wide. Of course, a wounded German. What World War II story isn't complete without a wounded German? We got the 1934 calendar on the wall because that workshop's been there since then. But again, the idea is creating not only just the story, but creating the actual conditions that these soldiers lived in. It's kind of what I try to do is create a world that I have control over. My original reapproach to this was kind of hitting the passion of my prepubescence. At 12 years old, I used to build models, and I wish I could do shit like this now, or wish I could do shit like this back then. But as time went by, I learned, what it took to create this stuff. So it ended up becoming kind of a minor obsession, and ultimately, because I lived in New York City for 20 some odd years, taking this hobby kept me out of the bars. Because the bars in New York City back in the 90s, I'd spend $100 a night. Not even catch a buzz, having got all my friends drunk, but, at the end of the night, what did I have to show for it? So what I was doing was trying to create a pastime, something to do otherwise, something to do other than spending my time in those bars. So this story here is, the German railway was seized by the Americans. Up comes the sergeant's, assault truck, and they're coming in and, wow, look at the size of that tank. Holy crap, and trying to recreate that railway scene, like, hey, they all ran away right away. Now, if you look at the groundwork here, all that stuff was created from scratch. The railway signals, all the trees were roots from my garden in my house. All that stuff was all extra details and stuff that I bought online. Again, if you think of the math, a kit like that costs maybe $30. The tank costs $25. Hey, that's half of what I'd spend in the bar. So it worked out really well. Great angle here, the American seizing the German flag, saying, "Yeah, we won!" With all the ammo and everything. They obviously cleared out pretty damn quick. What I tried to do in each of these dioramas, besides creating these stories, was to take it to the next step and photograph them in their realistic environments. So this was a scene that was created on a piece of firewood that would have normally been burned, but I said, hey, that looks like a great scene to build something on. It was about 6 inches by 12 inches high. I took it outside. I took it against an actual snowy background, and created like the environment of what the retreat from Ardennes would be. In this case, the Germans got their ass kicked on Ardennes because it was too cold for them to keep fighting. So this guy's checking his watch, like, when are we getting the hell out of here? Because we're losing, And in the foreground, although blurry, is a more passionate German soldier kneeling down and addressing the German shepherd that wants to wag his tail at him while there's another guy freezing next to the heater. The German guy freezing next to the heater is something that comes back again. In this case, Berlin and all the German towns, as Europe started to fall from German hands. You can see the guy on the right is looking at a German's helmet with a bullet hole through it, obviously admiring his marksmanship. Each one of these things, again, they're like, 2-3 inches wide. They're all in this scene exchanging souvenirs because, as Europe was basically one big souvenir shop toward the end when Germany just kept retreating and retreating. All those little details, all little bricks and stuff were like carved out of plaster. I try to scratch build everything I can. If you look at the posters on the wall, they were actually scaled down, scanned in images that I had gotten online and then printed out and peeled the paper back so it would have the scale proper. If I used regular 8.5, 11 normal stock, it would never have had that appeal. I blew smoke into the scene, and this is the scene from inside the house. And you can't see it, but there are charred German bodies underneath the floor work of this thing. Again, because, I'm sensitive to politics, and I don't want people to be offended by the fact that I'm fascinated by German armor. So in this case here, Germans are retreating from Ardennes again. This is just a quick little piece that I did on a piece of wood, a piece of firewood. The commander is calling in, get us the hell out of here, because we're getting ourselves shot to pieces. They have lots of armor. They have lots of material. This is obviously a destroyed house. You can see the guy on the upper right is freezing, judged by the cotton ball smoke steam coming from the top of the heater. It's not a good place to be. So they're trying to get the hell out of there. This guy's like making a call, long distance, get me out of here. We gotta go. I used baking soda for snow. I hand carved a lot of the groundwork. Some of the stuff in the foreground from the trailer is either rolled tissue paper or cheesecloth, which is great for cooking. But that's it. It goes on and on and on. Thank you so much. 6 minutes is fast.
Thanks, Greg. Totally insane. And it's great to have you back.